Hey, my friends. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to a lively conversation with me, Paulette Rees-Denis. I am your transformational lifestyle and business coach for creative women who are in the middle of change, the midst of mid-career, mid-life, mid-desire, mid-desire. And I am bringing you these lively conversations every day for the last week and a half or so. And over the last 5 years, I've done this too. But we're working on the idea of epic self care and all the things that go into making you the best you. Things you can do for yourself, things that will help you do what you do for others, for your work, for your desires, for your family, for your personal pleasure. So important to know who we are authentically and be connected and be in touch. I think sometimes as we age, we tend to lose touch with our passions, with our joy, with our bodies, with ourselves. We get caught up in life, we get caught up in work or family, and we forget about us. And you are your own best friend. And that's what this whole journey is about. It's a challenge, it's a journey, it's a daily activity, ideas and inspirations for you to step into your glory, to step into your desires. And so I'm bringing you these lives every day, which I think is so fun. And I know a lot of you can't be here at this time slot, so you come in after the fact. But I love to know that you're here. I love to know your thoughts, your questions, what inspires you, how I can be of service. You know, there's many ways to work with me, and which I've told you about before, but you know, you can hire me as your coach, and we can do a 3-month, you know, dive in and make things happen. You can join my mastermind when I start the next one, in April. I have one going on right now, and we'll do another one in April, which is fabulous. It's a beautiful women's circle of creative magic and self-care and envisioning and manifesting through the feminine divine that you are. That's a whole nother story, but and I can tell you more about that too, or you can ask me about it as well. Hey, my friends coming in, let me know you're here, let me know where you're from, and love your comments, love your questions, love your connection. So I'm glad you're here. And so this week we've been focusing on the idea of journaling. And you know me, I'm always talking about journaling. I'm always asking you to journal. I'm always helping you journal. I'm giving you journal prompts. I have a journaling class once a week. But it's so important to connect with your thoughts, your brain function, but get it out of your body. From the body to the page, right? And journaling is a great way to do that. And I've recommended books, given you some prompts. Yesterday I gave you some prompts. And today I just want to talk about continuing on with that practice and see how it feels for you. If it's a new practice for you, or if it's a practice you've given up and you've started again, or maybe you are a daily journaler. That's great. But I also want to talk a little bit about poetry. And I came out as a poet. Oh gosh, now it's been a long time. Maybe 6 years ago. Even though I've been writing poetry, I've been writing songs, I've been journaling, writing stories pretty much all my life. And now I have 4 books published, which is really cool. And this is my last one, From Soulless Job to Creative Abundance, to find fulfillment and prosperity with your art. And this is talking about you being a creative, about you stepping into your abundance on every level. Monetarily, materially, is that a word? I might have made that up. Physically, emotionally, spiritually abundant, to lead your creative life. And so that was my last one. And the one before this was a book of poetry. So I was at a writing retreat working with my mentor, and I was just writing these, what I call them, my life shorts. It's poetic text. And I was just like, oh my God, I'm a poet. And it was like announcing to the world I was coming out of the closet being a poet, and validating myself and acknowledging myself for the work that I had been doing over the years when I didn't really think of myself as a poet. And that was earth-shattering. It's so good to acknowledge who you are and what you do. But you don't have to be a poet to do this kind of work. It's really just a beautiful way to create some visions, to get clarity, to empty out, to release. And sometimes in my journaling class that I teach, the writers, well, I mean, yesterday's class, we were in tears. It was so beautiful. And the words, the things that were coming out of them from the prompts, where they allowed themselves to have the time and the space for just 1 hour to sit with themselves and write what comes out, to let it flow, to release it. It's just a beautiful way of getting more connection with yourself, of emotional release, of possibly project inspirations. I mean, you can go into every direction when you start this practice, and that's why I'm always so adamant about you just putting the words to the page. No editing, no spell checking. There's nothing right. There's nothing wrong. There's no judgment. Bam. So I thought I would share a few things today. Some things that I've written, also a couple of books. I mean, I read a lot, which is also really important. And I also listen to a lot of podcasts. And I love to read your words. So I'm always asking my people to share their writing with me. And when they do, they also they blow themselves away with what they've actually been able to put down on the page when they think that they can't write. But it's taking the space and allowing yourself to have that time. So my book, which I showed you, and this does have some of my poems in them, but this is a good self-help book if you're ready to step into your creative abundance. This is somebody I came across, Rupi Kaur. I don't know how you say the last name, but she's got a couple other books out, and she does some artwork, but some of this stuff is really beautiful. I wouldn't call this a poetry book per se. You Are a Badass Every Day by Jen Sincero, but they're daily kind of affirmations. Okay, like here's one. There's no riskier risk than refusing to risk at all. Right? And we talked about this the other day. Take a risk. Be brave. What's the worst that could happen? And when you look at your ideas that way, it's like, okay, so I want to try this thing, but I'm not going to because I'm afraid. I may fail. I may succeed. I might fall down. You get back up. There's no riskier risk than refusing to risk at all. That's a great quote. Anyway, she's hilarious. This is her third badass book. Highly recommend. Okay, here's one. I'm fucking doing this. I'm fucking doing this. Step into it. Do it. You know me. I'm I'm your biggest cheerleader, man. I've got, I'm behind you. I'm pushing you. I'm helping you. I'm guiding you. I'm supporting you. I'm uplifting you. I've even got a whip. I'm cracking the whip. I've got some fierce love, which is all about compassion and support and encouragement as your coach, as your mentor. So there's just a couple of books. I love Maya Angelou, some of her poems. So I got a couple that I could read to you today that I wrote this week. This one's called A Buffet of Goodness. And what's also really good about reading other people's poetry or listening to other people's poetry is letting it inspire you too. Letting it light a spark. And when it does, you got to go with it. You got to sit down and write it. How many of you have ever gotten that inspiration and then 10 minutes later forgotten about it? Right? Liz Gilbert writes about that in her Big Magic book, which is another great book I highly recommend. Like I said, I love to read and I love to give you books that can change the world, can change the way you look at things too. But she writes about a time when she was inspired to write a book. And it was taken her a couple of years. Actually, she'd write a little bit about it and then do other things and write a little bit about it. And she just thought, this is going to come in. And then she ended up meeting another writer. And they had lunch one day. And this other writer was writing a very similar book. Like surprisingly, like shocking. Like she had not told anybody what this book was. And here's this other person writing the same book. So her theory is that if you don't take that idea, these ideas come to you. They're downloads from God, from spirit, from angels, from, your inner self, whatever your belief is. And you get hit with this idea. You get hit with this download. And if you don't go with it, it's going to go to the next person, which is what she felt like happened to her book. She wasn't acting on it, and it went to somebody else because it wanted to be birthed into the world. That's a lot of beautiful energy there. So how many of you have had that inspiration and you just go, oh, that's a great idea. Maybe next year. It's gone. Or you get an idea and you don't write it down and you forget what it was. I've done that so many times, which is why I love this phone, because you can voice memo yourself or you can write notes. Like I get a lot of downloads when I'm walking or running. Sometimes I listen to podcasts when I'm walking and I'm like, oh my God, I got to write about this. If I don't write it down, I don't remember. By the time I get home, I don't remember because I've thought about a million other things. The ones that really mean something to you, the ones that hit you in the gut, in the heart. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about that feminine guidance, that intuitive connection. And that's what journaling and writing helps you do, connect with yourself so that you can listen in. And it might be changing the way you look at things. It might be giving you ideas for a new book or a poem or a painting or a new job or a new business or a new workout. I mean, it could be anything, a new thing for dinner. As a creative, you act on these impulses or these intuitive hits, these downloads. So, what are you thinking about that? What are you thinking about that? I'd love to know. All right. So this one is called A Buffet of Goodness. A smorgasbord of things to choose from. A buffet of goodness. Those choices. Move that body for some clarity. Burning through those possibilities. Morning runs and deep breaths. Writing the words while listening deep. allowing for the downloads. Passions in multiples present themselves, but to sort, tweak, ponder, wander. Being spiritually curious for the best of me. Transparent in the early hours of the new paths. Leaving behind the old trails that I once forged through. The road more than forks. My chariot awaits direction. I keep asking, and I keep listening. That's what I'm talking about. Asking, listening, choosing, being curious. Oh, curious is such a great word. Fabulous. All right. And then here's one more. All right. So while you're listening to this, if something hits you, write it down, take a note. And you write a poem today. Now, that doesn't mean it has to rhyme. It doesn't have to be 4 sentences, 4 sentences, 4 sentences. Maybe you want to write a haiku. Look it up. Maybe you want to write a story, a stream of consciousness poem, which is a lot of what my life shorts are. It's very stream of consciousness. There's no, 4 syllables, blah, blah, blah. Okay. This is called the Life Raft. We talked about this in my journaling class yesterday. A life raft of words, sometimes stuck in the swirling currents, or stopped up in a dam, or turned upside down in the questioning. But the feeling continues, flowing down the river, the relief of smooth sailing, the ease of allowing the water to lead, not follow. But leading around the rocks and crevices with the skimming stories and the poetic pictures, painting sirens of songs and tales of lust and love with saving grace. And that's what I'm talking about, is allowing that flow, going down river, allowing yourself to move with ease, with flow, with connection. How's that sound? Well, I would love you to sit down and write a poem, a short, a story, a phrase, a quote, and share it with me. Share it with us. Remember, we're all in this together. We're all here in this beautiful big circle, this virtual circle of connection. And you showing up and participating in your life, participating in your desires, participating with me is what I would love. And that's why I do the things that I do. That's why I'm here for you. It's so exciting and so beautiful. And to see you empower yourself with your words and your visions and your desires so you can make things happen. And again, I can help you with that as your coach. If you're ready to step into coaching, I'd love to give you a free discovery call, which is a 30-minute call with me to see what you're wanting and how I can help. I'd love to see you write some more. You can join my journaling class on Tuesdays. All the links are here. I'll put them again. And just comment. Just show up and say what this has inspired in you or touched you or not. And what you need, what you want. Meanwhile, thank you for being here. I love coming to you like this. I wish we could meet in person. And I think I'll be doing another Zoom class here pretty soon. So we can meet at least visually on Zoom, which I love that platform. It's so awesome that we've had that way to connect over the last couple of years. I'll see you tomorrow. And let me know how it goes. Many blessings. And remember, I do love you.